next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Emmanuel. Now, Emmanuel is an entrepreneur. He's done this big expo in Belgium on tourism, promoting Africa. And he does a whole lot of other things that I have absolutely no clue about. But Emmanuel is here with us today. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about what he does and where the women are in all of this, Emmanuel. Where are the women? What are you doing for the women? Well, please tell us. Welcome, Emmanuel, please. Please stand here.
Good evening, ladies. Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, actually. I haven't been climbing the Kilimanjaro, so I could do with a seat. And you can see the evidence in my big tummy. It's quite a difference living in Africa, where you have the opportunity to do all those climbings and exercise yourself, go up the hill and down the hill again and again. Well, so when she introduced me as an entrepreneur, I was thinking what aptly describes me as a person. What do I do? And I began to understand that she was actually right. Even though I can't put a name to all what I do, my interest, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a life entrepreneur. I face life, I challenge life, I flow with life, and I take what comes to me. I came to Europe a couple of years, say 20 years, 18. 2 years after that, I started my own company. I'm an African who is very dedicated to Africa. So we started exporting cash crops from Africa to Europe. After that, well, that was from Africa. Later on, I also went into distributing wholesale of African produce, African food products, and Afro-inspired cosmetics. I worked with a company in America where we distribute their products here. So I've for this while been working for myself, and I'm privileged to have the guts to do that, because it's not been an easy road. Many times I needed to inject money from out of Africa to Europe, so we also contribute somehow to this economy. They don't only give to us, we do a lot to also empower the economy in Europe. Yes. So, well...
what motivated you to do all of that? Why not just come here and hang out and, you know...
Survival.
Cool, yeah.
Survival. Just like you said, I just wanted to survive. When you... well, it was Bridget, when you come here and you are faced with challenges, you just go for it. You know, you can't easily. I graduated, had my master's in Africa, and when I came, the challenges were, it's either I go to clean somewhere or to one factory to work. But I said, why can't I just do something for myself? I have the intelligence. I can think of what to do, and we have so much from the motherland to give to them here. So why can't I just try to do something? And that inspired me. I didn't want to go to their factories. I just wanted to create my own income.
So what are you doing now to create your own income, Emmanuel?
I'm still an entrepreneur. I'm still distributing, wholesaling African food products, commodities. I've surveyed different areas where we can be of help in Europe. I live in Antwerp, the capital, the diamond capital of the world, so I taught myself how to interpret and read a good diamond. It's taking me to certain countries of Africa to find out how we can sell to them.
Wonderful.
We do that. So I continue to be an entrepreneur, according to you.
Right. But what's interesting about some of your work, from what we have learned, is your expos. Please tell us more about this. And I still want to know, where are the women in all of this?
Yes.
Where are the women in all of this?
The expo, I look at it as a hobby.
All right. Please tell us what it is.
It's something I enjoy to do.
Yeah, everybody knows what it is.
I remember telling you that I see myself as a Pan-Africanist.
Yes.
I studied African history and African archaeology, as a matter of fact. So by training, that put me right in the spot where I have to do and think African. I have also done a lot of things within as a freewheeler, in a foundation, in a voluntary manner. Yes. And we started some years back an African umbrella organization. First of all, it was FAB, and that's where I know my good friend Tapua. Also, I see a lot of some people who have worked together. In FAB, it's an umbrella association. We had one for the French, and the government decided that it should also accept some English-speaking Africans and give us our own foundation, which was funded by the Flemish government. So I worked to put it together. And of course, somewhere along the line, we had some disagreements, and we went to form. One of my major problems with them was I wanted to include also Afro diaspora, the Surinamese, the Caribbeans, the South Americans in an organization. And that is also a motivation for me in the Expo. We tell you a little about Kuona, Afrika. I think Catherine will correct me if I'm wrong. Catherine is a specialist in Swahili. We chose the name Kuona, which means a showcase of Africa. And that's what actually inspires me to showcase Africa in every aspect. I'm still coming to your woman question, don't worry.
Yeah, that's the one we're waiting for.
I'm going to answer that. Yes. But Kuona Afrika was inspired by a need to motivate, to create a platform where all Africans can express themselves. Like what Catherine is doing is all part of Kuona Afrika. The Expo in itself, I chose the area of travel and tourism. In travel and tourism is the way you catch on you know much more about any persons, any people. Because then all the teams play themselves. Their food, their art, their culture, their literature, everything. So when it's tourism or travel, of course business and entrepreneurship, everything come together. So that is what inspired us to have Kuona Afrika Expo and create that platform where fashion designers, artists, talk shows like yours will have a platform for expression. Would you like me to go to the woman question now?
Are you ready to hear about the woman question now? Yeah. Okay, please do tell us.
I think I happened to be born the only boy among 6 children, so that made me an only boy in the house.
So you were very spoiled.
Well, that's what you think, but I wasn't because I learned to do a lot of things myself. I realize now that I was influenced by women because although I didn't do a lot of the chores, but I imbibed certain values that became necessary later. So I like women. And And I like women because of what women mean to the society. And there is nothing that without the woman, there is nothing. Of course, women came into this life because of women. And Oprah Winfrey was saying on television, inspire a woman and you inspire a whole generation. I was thinking, what does this really mean? Inspire a woman and inspire your whole people. I think not in those exact words, but something like that. Yeah, that's very true because the women influence their husbands, their children. So if a woman is well articulated, well given the tools she needs, she passes it on. And this is very important. By just being a woman, she is already imbued with so much. If women walk into this room, and if we were all men in this room, we are behaving, we put our foot on the table and everything. But if a woman walks in, you see every man is, then you start checking yourself. So that's the impact of the woman. But I want to leave a message added to what the Excellency was giving to you. And it could be the sixth one you were looking for. And it is, woman, be at your own post. Don't try to be anything else but a woman.
Oh.
When salt loses its value, what is it? It's nothing. A woman must continue to be woman. Don't pursue men in their professions. Don't pursue men in all what they want to be, because if you do, you can no more be at your post.
All right. So you have a post, women.
And that post is given to you by nature to guide the whole creation that we all find ourselves. So if you are out of your post, that's the end of this creation. So that's the impact that you have.
All right. Now, I see a question already. We are not done yet, Emmanuel. But you have just talked about a post for women. And I think there are two women here who would like to challenge you on that. Please. Please just introduce yourself.
My name is Lisa.
And speak.
I was invited by my good friend Lillian to this talk show. It's very interesting, and I'm glad that I came. I just have a question for you. It's not a challenge. It's a question on, being an entrepreneur, a businessman, what advice would you give to somebody, an African woman, who is thinking about setting up her own business in Belgium? Or in Africa, for that matter.
Advice to African women who are trying to set up their own businesses in Africa or in Belgium. Would you like to take that, or we take a second one?
Let me take that on.
Okay.
I would say just do it. Like we say, just do it. And there are more businesses, more medium enterprise businesses in Belgium owned and run by women than men. Especially in my profession, I work with a lot of women, and I'm not just talking about Belgium, Holland, Germany, France. You go around there, you see, you count the percentage of the businesses you see there, they are more run by women, started by women, and than they are for men.
To the women. So what type of women do you work with, Emmanuel? What are the criteria?
I work with hard-working women who see no boundaries before them in a foreign land where we all have to try to survive. I work with African women who are dogged, who come from the motherland, who are equipped as mothers. I mother Africa. I could. Well, I also do journalism, sir. I edit a magazine, the Forum magazine, where she contributed a very powerful article some years back. You remember the Mama Africa being it was that title was. The African grandmother is the new Mama Africa. And why did she say that? It was such an interesting article. because the grandmother, the children are all dead, dying of AIDS. A lot of them have taken off to Europe, and the grandmother of 80 is left with the new children. So she becomes a mother all over again. So the African grandmother, she crowned, my good friend Bridget, she crowned the real Mama Africa. So there's this doggedness about the African woman, take it or leave it, which she has also brought to the continent here. And she doesn't stop, she just moves on. You need to see an average Ghana woman, what they do. I mean, they train lots of children at home, siblings and everything. So, and I'm not just talking about one group of people, or women all over Europe, in my experience, have been very dogged.
All right. Thank you, Emmanuel. One more question we have from the audience. Please, Lynn.
Well, this is Lynn again. I've travelled quite extensively in Africa, particularly Eastern Africa and Southern Africa. Yeah. And I'm married to a Nigerian.
Oh.
So one of your near neighbours.
Is he Igbo?
Not answering the question. But what I have noticed, unfortunately, for the West Africans, is that basically the West African man is much more macho, much more, in a sense, putting down the woman, and also holds on far more strongly to his traditions and his culture, and everything is to go back to the village. And quite honestly, there is no place for the woman. So what are you doing to encourage them, your compatriots and your near neighbours, to actually empower women?
Emmanuel, you've got a challenge here. Tim, you have a challenge here. What are you doing? All this machoism.
I don't believe you. You see is a. That's what you see, but it's not really true, because but it's not really true. The average in this come to Nigeria, most Nigerian tribes have this thing about women. What to start with? If I use the Igbos virtually worship their women, their mothers, their wives. Yeah, exactly. And she knows what I mean.
Okay, so we have confirmation.
One of the tribes where we value women so much are the Igbos. We don't believe that the woman has a second place. We put the woman so and virtually worship her. Of course, these things have been diluted in recent times, but it's really true. And where is your husband from? Which part of Nigeria? Let me know.
He's Igbo.
He's Igbo. Then you must be talking about, you must have similar experiences. But if you haven't, try and follow him home. Maybe you haven't been to his place.
I've been to his village.
Good.
And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't worry. You have to keep going back to the village, because that is where you get your credibility from.
Well, you have to carry on convincing her over a drink.
I will carry on convincing.
You'll carry on convincing. Do we have one more question from the audience?
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Please speak louder. I think they can't hear you back there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my question is, you say that you like women, you love women,
yes,
and you are so much in helping and empowering them.
Yes.
Now, women by nature, we are sometimes very emotional. Though we have so many good ideas, business ideas, but sometimes we lack organization, because maybe we see something, we want to do so many things at the same time, so we find ourselves all over.
Yes.
What are you doing to help this kind of women? Or what can you advise?
You don't need the microphone.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It is true. Women have this perception they receive. And I talk about my own family, because everything I do, as a matter of fact, comes from my wife. She, can we do this? She comes, she sleeps and wakes up with something, and she actually, the energy behind it is actually coming from her. And I tell you, out of 10 things I've done, 9 have originated from her. But that is your perception. We don't have it. You have it. You perceive it, you bring it forward, then we put it into a form. In truth. No. Well, get me right. I'm not saying that woman does not put in a form, but I'm telling you that I'm here today, I'm talking to you, macho, like some people accuse me of being. Who should be standing here is my wife, as a matter of fact. But you called me because I'm more expressive. I'm the big mouth. I'm the one you see, but the real engine is not me. But to put things in form is what the man, that's the only thing he can do.
Okay, now you, please, 1 more minute. You've got 3 more questions to answer.
Okay.
My question is, are we ready, African men, to accept that girls be a businesswoman? That means that she's the direction. She can give you an order, and you have not to accept. You have to accept and to do it. Are we ready for it? And if we are ready, my question is for now, men of machos, give all the people, to all the ladies, not to be a businessman, to all the business African ladies.
Okay, African,
So,
are you ready?
what is the question from that?
The question is, are the men ready to see African women taking charge?
In simple words, yes. I mean, the African man is ready, and he has shown it. We have a woman president in Liberia, for example, and in many high positions, we reserve it for the women.
Okay, so one last question from the audience.
I'm David Mwasha, and my question is, how can we get past that? I mean, if you say we are ready to accept that, but what can be done to further that? Because at this point, from what you said, what I've understood is that you still see women as having a certain role in society, while instead of looking at the person themselves and what their strengths and weaknesses are, instead of looking at the gender in whole.
So okay.
So how can we get past that?
I still believe that there are roles for women and there are roles for men.
Okay, you're not getting.
I'm not convinced there's none. There are certain things I cannot even do as a man, but a woman should do, and there are things that a woman should do, a man should do. And I wouldn't like my wife to do it.
Okay, we will come back to you during the break. In the meantime, we would like to thank you, Emmanuel, for answering all these questions.
My pleasure. Thank you.